coming up tonight on the news at 6. Lewis and Clark County leaders vote to bring in a specialist to help out with the county's COVID-19 response. Plus, COVID-19 cases continue to rise across the state. What Governor Steve Bullock had to say about enforcing health department orders.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 6.
Good evening. Welcome to the news at 6. I'm Marian Davidson. Thanks for joining us. Oh, windy day yesterday. It sounds like we're in for some more wind. Let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist Curtis Gravenitz.
Boy, we've had a lot of wind in a lot of the state, except for a couple of the valley locations here. But wait, that wind is coming, but certainly some beautiful beneficial rain and very high mountain snow out there. Even a few rumbles of thunder are moving through parts of the state here. So we've got an active night, another active day ahead of us here for tomorrow. Lake wind advisory out for Fort Peck Lake, and a high wind warning for everywhere where you see that French mustard color, some really strong wind, and yeah, even some snow. Snow levels are pretty high up there right now, but those snow levels will come crashing down through the night into tomorrow morning. Kings Hill Pass, Marias Pass, Rogers Pass, even McDonald Pass likely picking up some snow, even though McDonald Pass not included in the winter weather advisory. Another day with dust in the wind. Dust knocked down by a little bit by the rainfall. Some flaky friends will be showing up here soon, and this weekend, yeah, it's complicated. More of the forecast coming up.
Thanks for that, Curtis. Lewis and Clark County leaders voted to bring in a new specialist to help public health officials analyze data and make decisions about their response to COVID-19. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian reports.
Lewis and Clark public health leaders say their work depends on having accurate data and a good analysis of what it means.
So not what we sometimes believe is happening, or it feels like something is happening, and then when we look at the data, we say, well, actually what's happening is this, and we know that because we can see the facts.
On Tuesday, the Lewis and Clark County Commission accepted an additional $180,000 in state funding for the next 2 years to pay for hiring a communicable disease epidemiologist to support the local COVID-19 response. They will be responsible for helping public health make more targeted efforts to address the spread of the virus.
They're going to mine out and evaluate the case investigation data, the contact tracing data, the data around what we believe at this point are particular sources of infection, such as like events and that type of thing.
Eric Merchant with Lewis and Clark Public Health says the agency has added dozens of staff to work on things like contact tracing. But with case numbers jumping in the county, it's a challenge even with that added capacity.
We're stressed to the point where even the resources, the surge capacity that we brought in is not enough.
He asked everyone in the community to continue washing hands, social distancing, and the other steps health leaders have been emphasizing.
Practice what you've learned. It's all about personal responsibility.
Merchant said it will take some time to hire an epidemiologist, but they hope to have somebody in the position in the next few months. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
While several counties have announced new restrictions due to rising COVID-19 cases, Lewis and Clark public health leaders say right now they are not planning any additional orders. And today, Governor Steve Bullock says he wants to see Montana counties emphasize compliance with those local health department orders to address the growing number of COVID-19 cases. Bullock told reporters this afternoon that counties that enforce health orders against, quote, egregious bad actors create a deterrent. And he said right now, some of those counties are seeing lower transmission of the virus than other counties of the same size. He announced that the state will provide resources, including legal assistance to counties that want help in taking action against those who repeatedly violate health guidelines.
I think we can only be successful in beating this virus if we all work together as a team. And our local public health officers certainly need all of us to be on a team right now. Now more than ever, we need to roll up our sleeves, get our hands around this virus.
State health leaders said there have been a number of documented COVID-19 cases that traced back to events where people were not following health department guidance. Montana surpassed 20,000 total cases of COVID-19 this evening. More than 7,000 of those are active cases. There are also nearly 300 Montanans hospitalized right now. State and local health officials say 226 people have died from the virus in Montana. An important note, MTN tracks data from both state and local health departments daily to give you the most accurate numbers, so our numbers may vary slightly from Montana's COVID-19 tracking website. And on the Blackfeet Reservation, tribal leaders extended a stay-at-home order. The order was originally set to expire today, but was extended through October 25th. The order was issued on September 28th to slow the rising number of COVID-19 cases on the reservation. Right now, they have nearly 300 active cases and 5 deaths due to COVID-19. The order prohibits indoor gatherings of people who do not live together, requires masks at all times in public spaces where social distancing cannot be maintained, and sets a 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew. Violating the order could result in a $500 fine. For more specifics on the order, you could head over to our website. And heading south, the Montana City Middle School class is remote learning this week as a precaution due to possible COVID-19 exposure in the community. Superintendent Tony Clocker told MTN that no COVID-19 cases have been reported in the school for students or staff yet. The school alerted parents Sunday that an individual associated with one of the classes tested positive for the virus. Due to the short week and to give time for contact tracing, the school administration decided to move the affected students to remote learning. Everyone impacted has been contacted by the health department or the school nurse. Volleyball matches at the school were also canceled this week out of an abundance of caution so that contact tracing can be completed. And Governor Steve Bullock spoke at the Alluvian Health Education Center in Great Falls this afternoon. The governor expressed his support for telemedicine in Montana and talked with Alluvian officials about the benefits of telehealth. Alluvian CEO Trista Bish said that the medical center used to not offer telehealth services, but now 35% of their services are virtual. Alluvian officials and Governor Bullock agreed that these virtual services will be especially beneficial to rural Montanans. They also said that this is one of the few positives to come out of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Learn from the good of this along the way, and telemedicine really has been one of those that has changed the ways we provide care for our patients and Montanans.
Alluvian's telehealth services are used to treat both patients dealing with COVID-19 and other issues. Well, today, the U.S. Supreme Court issued an order allowing the Trump administration to shut down the U.S. Census count immediately. Well, it's not clear what that means for Montana, but it's probably not good news as far as getting a complete count of our population. If Montana does not get a complete count, the state probably will not get an additional congressional seat in 2022, which initially had been expected to happen. A federal district judge ordered counting efforts to continue through October, overruling an earlier Trump administration decision to halt counting early on September 30th. Montana has one of the lowest census self-response rates in the nation. State officials said the district court order allowed census workers to count people in many rural areas in Montana, including Indian reservations. But today's Supreme Court order allows the Trump administration to stop those efforts. Kendra Miller, a member of the Montana Commission that uses the census results to draw legislative district boundaries, said census workers were preparing to start counting on the Fort Peck Indian Reservation tomorrow. The Fort Peck Reservation is one of the last spots in the state where many non-responding homes had yet to be visited by census workers. And still ahead on the news at 6, Montana has an important role right now when it comes to deciding who controls the Senate.
News leader. You're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the news at 6. Judge Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation hearing underscores the importance of who controls the United States Senate after the election. Nationwide, billions are spent on races, and not just in traditional swing states. Joe St. George takes a look at how control of the Senate might be decided right here in the Treasure State.
Montanans know this state is beautiful, especially in autumn, but perhaps people who live here don't realize how crucial the state will be for the nation this year. While presidential politics skews conservative, other races are much more competitive.
We like our guns We like being able to go out into the country.
You see, while plenty of conservative stores like this one exist here in towns that look nothing like New York.
What are your issues?
A quick visit to the Western Cafe will tell you there are plenty of voters eager to vote Democrat, too, especially in the Senate race between current Democratic Governor Steve Bullock and incumbent Republican Senator Steve Daines.
I think that the governor's done a great job. COVID is driving me pretty hard.
How these patrons vote will have implications all over the country. After all, whoever wins the presidency will need to work with the Senate to confirm judges and pass laws. And while Republicans have a firm grasp on the presidential race in Montana, they do not when it comes to the Senate race. Currently, there are 53 Republican senators nationwide and 47 Democratic senators. These are all the states with Senate races this year. Republicans think they can flip Alabama, but Democrats think they can flip Arizona, Colorado, North Carolina, and Maine at least. And if this is what the map looks like after the election, control of the Senate will come down to Montana.
This will be the most expensive Senate race in Montana history.
Mike Dennison has covered politics for 25 years in the state. He tells us at least $75 million will be spent here alone and on relatively few undecided voters.
All that money is fighting over about 10% of those voters, so maybe 60,000, 70,000 people.
As for the candidates,
I'm running against an incumbent governor.
Republican Steve Daines admits his race is competitive, but believes Trump supporters will ultimately back him.
If you sum up what I stand for, it's more high-paying jobs and less government.
Governor Bullock says voters here,
a quarter of my voters voted for Donald Trump,
will actually put one of his signs in their yard and one of the president's.
It's whether somebody's going to fight for you along the way.
So remember, this election involves more than just the swing states. Everywhere is playing a role, including Montana. In Bozeman, I'm Joe St. George.
All right, now let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz for what's coming up in weather.
All right, in the full forecast coming up, we'll take a closer look at the storm impacting us right now. It's moving through the state here, but a very active jet stream will continue to affect Montana and the Rockies and the Pacific Northwest into the weekend here. But what will happen is we'll kind of see the jet stream tilt here, and this jet stream position will determine whether or not we get a little warmer air this weekend or a little colder air. I'll explain more coming up in the forecast right after this.
Weather starts now with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
Welcome back, everybody. Another very windy day here for most of the state. If it's not windy where you are right now, it will be. But how many other people had bushes or crabapple trees knocked over here? Helena, the wind still kind of waiting to ramp up. If you were to go up on McDonald Pass, the wind is howling up there, but just the atmospheric conditions are so that the wind is not coming down into the valley like it was yesterday. But wait, it is coming, and nice to see that rain out there right now. Looking at the Highwood Mountains, we've had some showers in the Great Falls area, 55 degrees, and if you want to know how windy it is, just call somebody up in Great Falls. Southwest winds gusting to 44 miles per hour. A little cooler up here where we've had some rain in the northern and northwest part of the state, a little warmer the farther south and east you go. There's the wind. Miles City calm, Glasgow not too bad, Jordan not too bad, Havre not too bad, but again, this wind will really start to ramp up as we've got a front that will be moving down into the state here. You can kind of see on the computer model how a lot of the eastern part of the state not dealing with so much wind, and yeah, just a little void of wind in the valley locations around Townsend and Helena. But that wind is going to ramp up with the pressure changes that are about to happen with the front coming through. Windy tonight, windy tomorrow, windy on Thursday as well. We might get a little break Wednesday night into Thursday, but here we go. Thursday, looking at yet another day with some pesky wind. But the storm is doing wonders here for the fire danger here in the state. The Yogo fire saw snow yesterday, a little rain and snow on that fire, but how about like the Bridger Foothills fire and the Drumming fire and the Estate Creek fire, all seeing precipitation, which will help us get us closer to the end of fire season. Look at the rain coming down, Lewis and Clark County, west of the Continental Divide. Check out the lightning strikes. That's with the cold front that will be coming through here in just a few hours. North central Montana, still some snow up on top of Teton Pass, some rain breaking down off of the Rocky Mountain front. Boy, a nice rainy day, Judith Basin County, Fergus County, Choteau County. And look at all that rain now. Solid rain up around the Glasgow area, working its way east on the High Line. And yeah, this storm just moving into the state here. It's going to affect a lot of Montana for tomorrow as well. The yellows indicating where we could have have a few claps of thunder with the front going through here, so maybe even Cascade County, Judith Basin County a little later on this evening through the overnight hours. A lot of the precipitation ending with the exception of snow in the mountains, but look at Wednesday, a little more in the way of mixed rain and snow in the lower elevations, snow in the mountains, and Wednesday afternoon could see some banding setting up, which may allow for a brief little accumulation of a couple inches of snow, even in the lower elevations, so the roads could be a little slick. Mountain passes will be slippery as we go through Wednesday, and still a few mixed rain and snow showers, depending on elevation, heading into Thursday. And oh yeah, there will be more wind. There's the snow. Check out Glacier and the Missions here, the Little Belts, the big snowies picking up a healthy amount of snow, maybe more than 6 inches in some places. But rain going over to snow, Browning, Babb, East Glacier here tonight. Rain showers, wind, thunderstorms potentially here throughout a lot of the central eastern part of the state, even around Helena. Snow levels dropping down the Continental Divide. And here's the forecast for tomorrow. Mixed rain and snow showers in the lower elevations with snow in the mountains. A cooler day, highs only in the 40s to around 50 degrees. Very, very windy tonight and also tomorrow. Thursday, a little more sunshine, still on the cool side and still a lot of wind. Maybe a couple of mixed rain and snow showers. And then here's the complicated storm this weekend. Friday, this storm approaches late in the evening hours, and this front will come through Friday night into Saturday morning. Saturday morning, waking up to a good amount of snow. Now, does this front stall out? Does it continue to push down towards the south? That's what they pay me the big bucks for. I'll figure that out here as we get a little closer. But a lot of uncertainty with that weekend storm in Fort Helena. There you can see the unsettled weather the next few days, and at the very least this weekend, I want you to prepare for a much colder and snowier situation, at least into Saturday. We'll have to wait and see if more snow falls Sunday into Monday. And Great Falls, very windy. A little warmer Friday before the big weekend storm.
Still ahead, a social media group all about loving Montana has members from all over the country and world.
Montana's news leader. You're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the News at 6. A social media site has been highlighting the Treasure State for more than 3 years. Now, you might have seen it. It's called Montanica, and it has thousands of members from Big Sky Country, the United States, and around the world. From t-shirts to hats, bracelets to bumper stickers, if there's an opportunity to promote Montanica, Dana McDonald will do it. The site features pictures, videos, stories, and inspiration from all corners of the state and boasts that it does not engage in politics or negativity.
I saw an opportunity to see what I could do on social media. Started it there. We've in the past 2 weeks, we've surpassed 110,000 members.
Volunteer moderators help screen potential members who have been invited or have requested admittance. Merchandise is available online, and we have a link on our website. And we'll wrap things up here on the News at 6 when we come back.
Montana's news leader. You're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the News at 6. Here's a question for you. What do you call a baby penguin? Cute. And there's plenty of cute at the Maryland Zoo in Baltimore as it welcomes its first penguin chicks of the breeding season. 3 African penguin chicks hatched between September 18th and October 4th, and they're covered in dark gray downy feathers because they haven't grown into their tuxedos just yet. The zoo says it has the largest colony of African penguins in North America and now has 104 of the endangered species. The zoo expects to hatch a total of 10 chicks during this breeding season, which will go until the end of February. They are adorable. And that does it for the News at 6. We'll be back here tonight at 10 with your latest headlines and, of course, the latest on that wind and weather. So make sure to come back here tonight at 10. Thanks for joining us.